Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Globe Interviews. I'm your host Sunlight, and today I'm delighted to welcome Travis Lee, founder and managing director of ASABC. So Travis, how are you?
Hello everyone. I'm good.
Good, great to have you on the show.
Yeah, thank you so much for your invitation as well.
Perfect. So let's just get into it. So can you tell us a bit about your background, coming from a traditional banking background?
Yeah, absolutely. I was an engineering first and I jumped to the banking industry. For me, that was a strategic move to kind of learn more on business and financial knowledge by working. The year I worked in traditional bank, I met more than 100 different enterprises. That really gave me a lot of entrepreneurial experience because most of the enterprise were really built from scratch and a lot of insights from their mindset as well. I learned a lot from them, really much.
Yeah, perfect. So what were your aims and objectives in co-founding ASABC, and how does blockchain technology help in these goals?
We aim to be one of the top-tier corporate service providers in Hong Kong, serving the needs for small and medium enterprise and startups from all over the world. With our tailor-made solutions, bank account opening with guarantees, one-day company incorporations, and tax planning. Now we have different branches in overseas, like Singapore, Philippines, Estonia, and Turkey. And in this year, we will have branch office in UK, Brazil, and Dubai as well. So until now, we have helped over 5,000 enterprises establish their entities successfully in different jurisdictions and provide different banking solutions to them. And regarding your so-called FinTech and blockchain questions, in 2019, around 115 new blockchain firms had established in Hong Kong, and around 40% are new FinTech companies. So FinTech and InsurTech have been particular area of focus for the Hong Kong government and the key Hong Kong financial regulators. So reflecting Hong Kong's long lead positions as one of the world-leading international financial centers. However, for traditional banks in Hong Kong, they still require the clients to come to Hong Kong by face-to-face interview with the bankers. Therefore, with that FinTech and InsurTech solutions and platform, there will be an alternative for our client to have at least a multi-currency account to kickstart their business in Hong Kong.
So you're based in Hong Kong. Are there any prohibitions on the use or trading of cryptocurrencies in the jurisdiction?
Although the use or trading of cryptocurrency is not prohibited in Hong Kong, however, the Hong Kong police force, as well as many Hong Kong regulators like HKMA, FSC, and Custom and Excise Department have published some statement to warn investors of the risks associated with investing in or trading in cryptocurrency before 2018. However, in 2019, FSC in Hong Kong has issued two important guidelines: terms and conditions for licensed company which manage portfolio that invest in virtual asset, and a paper on the regulations of virtual asset trading platform. So with these regulatory clarifications, there has been a strong interest for major digital service providers and exchange to pursue asset management and automatic trading license in Hong Kong. I think this is a good insight for us that in Hong Kong, they welcome all the FinTech and then crypto trading service provider in futures.
Right, thank you. So you were talking about the SFC guidelines. So you spoke of two. Could you maybe expand on that a bit and what that means for businesses?
Because SFC normally they have to focus on the traditional investment, like the security, bonds, or those financial tools, which is not belong to digital asset. But right now, for example, because for license one, for example, is for the securities. Right now, they include that so-called asset, like the cryptocurrency is regarding as one of the assets that can trade. And for license type 7 is about the automatic trade platform, which also welcome those crypto, like the exchange, to be one of the regulators platform that they can manage in the future. So the service provider with this license, then that means that not just the traditional investment like the security, like the stock, like the bonds, they will also have such cryptocurrency investment in futures. But of course, right now is the just beginning because they just launched the guideline in 2019. And within this 2 years, because of COVID and the process for the new so-called approval on those licenses is quite slow, I can say. That's why I'm forecasting in futures after COVID, maybe more and more so-called international service provider that can get the license in Hong Kong. Then it's also a good news for the so-called professional investor that because we got the regulations to guide the investor to secure to have a safeguard for them to invest.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for answering. So I was wondering, what is the procedure on setting up an offshore entity?
First of all, you need to select a company name. The name should be unique and not to be identical or similar to any existing registered name in company registry. And you cannot use the prohibited or some restricted wordings like banking, or insurance, casino, or funding, etc. So that's why we normally ask for the clients to provide 2 to 3 options for us, because we will conduct the name search to check on the availabilities, to save the time and avoid unnecessary mistakes. And of course, some basic documents are required, like the certified true copy of your passport, residential address proof, and a detailed description of the company business activities and the shareholding structures, like how many shareholders and what's the percentage of each shareholders. And if your company has a corporate body, then you must submit additional documents, for example, like the incorporated certificate, momentum of associations, register of directors and members. So let's take Hong Kong company as an example. ASABC can help you to incorporate a Hong Kong company in 1 working day only. So this is our strength as well.
So in 1 day, 1 working day, what would you say is the normal time for a company?
I think this is the technology that helped us to so-called make 1 day incorporation. Previously, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, maybe we need to send the paper form, collect the signed paper form, and then use the courier and then scan copy and submit to the company registry. And the whole process need to take 4 to 5 working days at least to do so. But right now, because we can because the client provides a certified true copy to us, then we can upload those documentation to the government, and then just 1 working days to get the e-cert of the certificate. And this will save a lot of time for the client as well.
Perfect. Almost a week saved.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was wondering, what is the tax for an offshore entity, and how does it differ, when dealing with fiat transactions as opposed to crypto transactions?
That is a good question. To begin with, an offshore company is incorporated for business only carried outside of the jurisdictions of its original formations. So some offshore countries, since there are no corporate profit tax, so they will regard as a tax haven. However, Hong Kong is sometimes considered as the same as Belize Seychelles or BVI, which are tax haven. A look deep into her current Hong Kong tax law, proven that it should be taxed as a low tax jurisdiction rather than a tax haven. So different from normal offshore country, Hong Kong gives local companies established by foreigner permission to do business within the territory of Hong Kong. Subsequently, they must pay a tax rate from 8.25 or 16.5% of their profit. With this attractive tax rate, Hong Kong seems to be one of the best choices. It is even better as profit driven outside Hong Kong are eligible for Hong Kong tax exemptions. And offshore scam is a process of proving your source of profit, but it takes a bit more time, effort, and paperwork for a local Hong Kong company to gain offshore status. And finally, a tax exemption letter released by Inland Revenue Department after their inspections. Obligated by Hong Kong law, companies are tax-free for the profit driven outside the territories. Without these letters, companies must still pay full profit tax, although their source of income are from outside. So the process of the approval from the IRD, that means Inland Revenue Department, is quite long, not sooner than 6 months. So in order to increase the successful rate, you must ensure that your company do not have clients in Hong Kong, no physical office or staff in Hong Kong, no web hosting in Hong Kong, no service, no sales, no business performed in Hong Kong, or even though no warehouse in Hong Kong as well. Of course, you must take the advice from our CPA before making any submission to tax department. Our auditor will require you to collect the invoice and contract, bank statements, expenses receipt. For trading business, maybe sales and purchase orders, shipping documents, agreement with customer and supplier, even though the communication record that support the negotiation process with the clients or supplier is also required. So the process takes several months because Inland Revenue Department will raise many questions during their investigations before making their final decisions. Therefore, Hong Kong-based companies are able to gain more opportunity in the global market. And this offshore status performing in enhancing the attraction of Hong Kong as a company can save a large amount of annual expenses. That is the reason why more and more so-called business people decide to incorporate in Hong Kong as well.
Perfect, thank you. So you've mentioned that ASABC can help businesses, set up their business, and you just mentioned, with tax reasons. Could you go into a bit more about, what else ASABC can help businesses with?
As I mentioned initially, we got the tailor-made solutions. One is the one-day, first of all, is one-day incorporations. Second is about the tax planning. And thirdly, I think we are strength on the banking solutions. As I mentioned to you, I'm from the banking industry. So that's why we know how to make the higher successful rate to get the bank account, no matter in Hong Kong or Singapore or in other jurisdictions, because depends on the nature of the business, depends on the nationalities, depends on the money flow, depends on your turnover. There are many different criteria that make you to choose the best banking solution for your company. So this is our niche on providing such services.
Perfect, thank you. So globally, there's been many regulations put into place that tighten crypto regulations, such as, Coinbase in the UK sending financial data to the HMRC and the crypto ban in China. So with this in mind, what are the opportunities that you see in Hong Kong relating to crypto?
I think Hong Kong government is very welcomed by the growing digital asset and fintech community. As I said, it will help Hong Kong continue to grow as a center of institutional digital asset investor and service providers. As I mentioned before, since 2019, SFC in Hong Kong has issued 2 important guidelines. And in 2020, some of the service providers had received an approval in principle for their applications already, that they can operate a virtual asset trading platform under a license for Type 1. That means that dealing in securities, and Type 7 is automatic trading services platform as well. So once the conditions for final approval are satisfied, they can operate a broker and a automatic trading platform for digital assets, which including those security tokens as well. In the same year, the Inland Revenue Department published a revised version of practice notes. It's mentioned about the profit tax on digital economy, electronic commerce, and digital asset as well, which include a new section on digital asset. These provided broadly the profit tax treatment on digital asset, which depends on their nature and use. So all these groundbreaking regulatory frameworks that provide certainties and confidence to investors. They can enjoy all the protections and safeguards which they have in traditional finance. And they can also take comfort in additional protections under the new regime that have been tailor-made for these new asset class.
Well, that's great. So it sounds like Hong Kong is very crypto positive, right? Yeah.
I can say this year is, I think in the future, because we are laid back for many years. As I mentioned before 2018, Hong Kong police force and those so-called Hong Kong regulatory, they warn those investors is be careful on those trading or dealing with those cryptocurrency. But after 2019, there are many new regulations, no matter from SFC, Inland Revenue Departments also mentioned about this. I think this is the big change in the world as well. And Hong Kong is also adopting this, I can say, in this year and in the futures on that.
Perfect. So not just looking at crypto in Hong Kong from a business standpoint, as an individual, I think I heard it, the income tax, if you were paid in crypto, is much lower. Correct me if I'm wrong.
And I can say, because in Hong Kong, the tax, so-called the system is very, very easy. There are only 2 tax only. For the personal side, of course, if you receive the salary or if you got some rental income, of course, this is the so-called tax for the personal. But for the corporate side, just one so-called profit tax. As I mentioned before, it's just 8.25 or 16.5%, depends on the net profit of your company. So if you say 8.25, I cannot say it's the lowest, but I can say it's lower among the world already. And then after you pay the tax, then in Hong Kong, you do not have any withholding tax, you do not have any asset gain tax or capital gain tax. So I think this so-called easy tax system is also an advantage for the clients to choose Hong Kong as a platform to invest.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah.
So like you said earlier, crypto transactions, are a high-risk activity according to some banks. So can you tell us what are the advantages of companies to allow crypto transactions?
Right now, some mainstream companies across like multiple industries look interest, and in some cases, they also invest in cryptocurrency and blockchain as well. Like AMC recently announced that it will be able to accept Bitcoin payment by the end of this year. Some FinTech companies like PayPal and Square, they also betting on crypto by allowing users to buy on their platform as well. And of course, the most famous Tesla continues to go back and forth on its acceptance on Bitcoin payment as well. So we predict more and more of this buy-in then going to continue to drive the growth of the crypto transactions. If more global corporations could jumpstart this adoption in crypto transactions, for example, like Amazon or some big banks even, they can create a chain reactions for the others to accept, and would add a lot of credibility on this as well. But while paying for these things in cryptocurrency doesn't make sense for most people right now, if more retail accept payment, that may change the landscape in futures. More institutional adoptions could bring about more user cases for everyday users, and in turn, it will be a good impact on the crypto price as well. But of course, nothing is guaranteed. But if you buy cryptocurrency as a long-term store of value, the more we will use it, and more demand, and the value will increase.
Perfect. I mean, we're already seeing lots of real-world cases for crypto, aren't we? So yeah, fingers crossed we'll see.
Well, but it takes years by years to adopt, I think.
Yeah. So when did you enter the crypto sphere?
Maybe 4 to 5 years ago, when the Bitcoin is about $4,000, 4,000 USD at that moment. Yeah. And also our company is also the first, I can say first company, secretarial company in Hong Kong that accept the crypto payment as well. Yeah. Oh. We can accept the cryptocurrency, or we can accept the Bitcoin for the company in Hong Kong.
So what are the changes and trends you've seen in the industry in Hong Kong?
I think when more so-called institutional investment in Bitcoin and other so-called digital assets has accelerated over the past several years. And this will enter a new era of growth in Hong Kong with licensing as well. As I mentioned, SSP will so-called start to issue the guidelines and issue the licensing for those institutions and so-called professional investor with the so-called high net wealth individuals or family office. They can trade digital assets with the most comprehensive and trust digital asset platform in Hong Kong. Because this, as I said, this framework is under the SFC, clients can trade with confidence under the protections and safeguards, which they have experienced before as well. And in addition, the investor will also benefit from insurance protections on digital assets, including Bitcoin, because this will help in different separate wallet, right? With the clear regulations and guidelines, customer maybe undergo a strict KYC and AML control, but it will reduce the risk of market misconduct through, as well as the transactions monitoring and additional digital asset specified control. I think these so-called clear regulations is really good to the market because the investor or even the end user will have the confidence on that, will comfort to invest because at least they trust the regulators and the platform. This is quite very difficult to predict where things are headed long term. But in the coming year, as I said, they will, in Hong Kong government will continue to apply the same high level of regulations that already governing the security market to digital asset, making it to be a more comprehensive, investor-friendly jurisdictions for those institutional and professional investors.
Yeah. So this is a relatively new industry, blockchain. So do you think that businesses and companies who don't adopt blockchain technology will get left behind?
Yes, I think definitely yes. And you can see so many different blockchain companies, maybe in different sectors already, maybe banking and finance, supply chain and logistics, insurance, energies, healthcare, transportations, HR, marketing, retail, entertainment, whatever, properties. All these are the industry that already adopt the blockchain technologies. And the whole industry are growing and so-called, as I mentioned before, many real-world applications of blockchain technologies in finance, investment, socially important projects and global payment industry that already launched in the market already. And in 2020, the outbreak of the pandemic have accelerated the financial institutions to embrace FinTech and provide a window of opportunities for the Hong Kong government to promote wider FinTech adoptions like e-wallet, virtual banks, and InsurTech.
That's great, Travis. So, what is next for ASABC?
Although ASABC started in Hong Kong, our team has since opened our office in Singapore, Philippines, Estonia, and Turkey. And we are not stopping there. We hope to bring the same ASABC professional work on supporting our clients with a delightful customer experience. We aim to improve our services further in order to become a digital service platform for all entrepreneurs everywhere. So in 2022, ASABC is looking to grow quickly across all teams in Hong Kong, Singapore, and UK. We pride ourselves on being a fast, flexible, and with a startup environment company. Our success is a result of all individuals' efforts working as a collective. We are looking to onboard more of these talented, creative individuals who want to contribute to the growth of the company. So this is my so-called objective in 2022, to grow our teams in all over the world.
Perfect. Are you looking for anyone from certain backgrounds or something like that?
As long as they are energetic, because I think that the one, if we so-called, as I said, the success is all our effort. So the effort is not just the background behind, it's the attitude for those individuals who would like to contribute, or how much they want to contribute to the company or to the teams, because no one can success by one hand, right? We need to be a team, to be a group, to success together, which we believe on that as well.
Perfect. Well, I wish you the best of luck with ASABC.
Thank you so much. And thank you for today's interview.
Thank you so much for watching this video. And thank you, Travis, for taking the time out of your, I'm sure, very busy day.
Thank you.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Please follow the links down below to follow Travis. And don't forget to join the Globe community. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Bye, Travis.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you.